welcome to the Geriatric Millennials with Jayme and
Beth.
Yes, we're two oldish, youngish ladies talking about spring cleaning today because that's the season we're in.
Yeah, like legit. Like I've never had baby fever really, but I get clean fever.
Oh,
I hear about people wanting to nest and things before a baby comes. I guess maybe I got that with my cat. Please don't take that as me being a cat lady though.
You're in such denial.
But I get that this time of year where I just want to like change something, buy new furniture, fluff stuff, organize. Like
absolutely. I was feeling it really a lot as well. And before spring break. And so I had all these plans. I had all these plans for spring break. Like I'm going to have this opportunity to do all of these plans, which I knew was not realistic.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go, and I still do want to go through my entire house, every drawer, every closet, every nook and cranny. And there just was not enough time.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a big endeavor.
It really is. And everyone still needed to like eat and
be entertained,
just like life stuff, So, and never mind outside.
Yeah.
Things are growing and there were all the leaves left from the fall because I don't know if you remember this, but we didn't really have a fall here.
Yeah.
And the leaves started to drop, but before they were all off the trees, it snowed.
Yeah.
And then everything got buried and I just gave up because I was like, well, I mean, it did melt and I could have cleaned up leaves at that point, but it felt like we're already in winter and I just never did.
Over it.
I didn't do it. And so the spring, anyway. So we're going to talk about spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning.
Yes.
In all facets, because spring cleaning to me isn't just about house stuff. I oftentimes think about with spring cleaning, like my life in general, like my soul.
I think you're really much better at that than I am.
Well, I feel like you're not as in the same place I am at.
Well, no, we have a completely different life.
Yeah, well, yeah, very much so.
I mean, also, my season of life is like, I'm a mom of 3 kids that are super busy and active, and that's a huge part of my world and time.
And I really just spend all of my single lifetime just like trying to make myself better and pouring into myself.
That. And your cat.
I mean, yes, cat, most definitely, but mainly me. So
I love that.
What's your jump off point for like spring cleaning? Like, where do you even start? Or what is your kind of go-to?
I mean, you're asking me as if I do the same thing every spring, and that's not the case. I cannot speak to the other years of my life, only the most recent. Not sure why. Could be related to my terrible memory, but I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what my jumping off point is, but I will tell you what I started with.
Okay.
And that is going through my kids' rooms and their closet. I started with their clothes because for some reason now I don't buy my kids very many clothes. I mean, they buy themselves some clothes, but we did back to school shopping and then somehow their room is continuously covered in clothing and their drawers are bursting with stuff and they can't close them. And I'm like, what is happening? Why? I don't even know where this came from. So anyway, my kids didn't want to do this, but I said, we're doing it. So I started there and I went through their clothes and just literally took stuff out that they don't wear and that they don't like, which was a big percentage of their closets.
Yes. I read somewhere, I think once that you only wear 10% of your clothes or something.
I heard like 80-20. So I just heard this thing today and it was you wear 20% of your closet 80% of your time. Okay. 80% of the time.
That sounds more legit. Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So anyways, I got rid of a lot. I was just like, you never wear this. And they were like, yeah, I don't like it or whatever. Anyway, so started with that, got through their closets. And my daughter, she's getting older. And so we just went through toys and stuff I'm like, you're not playing with this anymore. Can you please be done with it?
Yeah.
And there's this other part of me that is just like all these crafting kind of supplies and things that, she's gotten over the years for her birthday, like make your own lip gloss or bracelets or whatever. And I'm just like, not going to do that stuff with her. That's just not what I do. Like, maybe that sounds terrible, but it's just not me and I don't want to.
Yeah.
And so
I love that as a parent. I don't want to. It's okay. You can just be that person.
Actually, by the way, so she did get this lip gloss thing and and I was not able to do it with her in whatever moment she wanted to do it. And I said she could go ahead and do it. Just follow the instructions. That did not turn out so well because she had to use the microwave and she had whatever this fluorescent pink substance was explode all over the microwave. I spent a good hour cleaning the microwave and I could have spent that time actually making a lip gloss with her and we both would have been a lot happier. But anyways, that was a side note. So anyways, so just going through all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so I started with that. I was like, okay, I'm going to get my kids' rooms kind of organized and just get rid of crap. Oh, and then I went on to books, the bookshelves. And I was just going through because like I said, she's older. There's a lot of chapter books for young readers that she's not going to reread. And I just needed to get stuff out.
I love that you're such a purger. Like you really are great at editing.
Okay. So this is I wrote this down.
Okay.
This is what my tip was going to be.
Okay.
Don't hang on to stuff. Get rid of it.
I mean,
that's my tip. Donate it to thrift stores that benefit the community. And I have a list. I have 3 that I thought of that
actually benefit the community and not a corporation.
Yes. And so like locally, there's the Adult and Teen Challenge one in Pasco that supports recovering addicts in their residential program. And then there's New Beginnings in Richland and the Repeat Boutique, which supports hospice. Like and I know there's more. So anyway, that's my tip is just to get rid of crap.
I mean,
that's it.
I honestly heard you in my head earlier this month because, right as spring was starting to, as soon as the leaves, or what are they called? The buds on the trees start to form. Yeah. That's when my urge to purge happens. And I'm
I like that.
I'm going to handle my closet because.
And you heard my voice. What did it say?
Get rid of everything because it's Jayme. Like, I'm like, what would Jayme do? Throw it all in the garbage? Not in the garbage, but
in a garbage
donate
bag.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I was like a Saturday morning. I'm like, all right, this is my task today. It's a beautiful day sunny wise, but it wasn't warm. So it was like perfect. It feels like spring, but I don't have to go outside. So it's wonderful. And Jayme, I started looking around and it's like my eyes went like right to left on my closet. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah. It can be overwhelming.
It was super overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest thing for me was that like, I'm kind of like in between sizes right now. And I know I'm not going to stay at my current size because it's not my normal weight.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I don't want to get rid of all of my tops, but every time I put something on, it's tight and I don't want to buy more. And so.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my next tip.
Okay.
Apparently I thought I didn't have tips, but apparently
you
I
have lots of tips today.
So my next tip is to pick a zone/category so it's not so overwhelming. So you said closet, so that could be a category, but if it's overwhelming, you could literally pick shirts,
sweaters, pants,
or just sweaters,
underwear,
and only focus on that. And you don't have to get rid of stuff, but if it's currently not fitting you, what you can do is put it in a container and just get it out of your everyday sight.
Yes.
And you could, so whether it's up on a shelf or under the bed or somewhere else, so that when the time comes and you're ready to try that on again and you feel like, you're a different size or whatever, you didn't get rid of it, but it's not in your face every day because to me,
it's distracting.
It's distracting and it's also discouraging because it's not helpful to have clothes in your closet that
it's like, I want to wear that, but it's like, can't wear it. So it just adds a layer of stress. I literally on Monday of this week, I was getting ready for work and I put on no less than 5 outfits. And I haven't done that for a really long time. I remember I did that a lot when I was like, in school.
When you cared more
about
what you wore.
I was just like, I would put something on. I would go look in the mirror and like, absolutely not. We're not letting our coworkers see us like this today. I do blame part of it though, the guy's PMSing. So I just felt bloated. And that's one thing weird is that sometimes you put something on a Monday and you're like, I hate this. I will never wear it again. You put it on Wednesday. You're like, I look amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Here's my other tip.
Okay.
Lower your standards.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
I mean, accept the season that you're in and lower your standards and expectations to fit where you're at. So for example, like if you are overwhelmed by something, to have grace for yourself, to allow yourself to just be like, okay, I don't actually have to have my closet purged this spring because I'm not ready for that in this moment.
Yeah.
Like it's okay.
Yes.
So like, or by lowering standards, I also mean like, if my bathroom or my kid's bathroom didn't get cleaned this week, it's okay. Even though I really want it cleaned every week or their sheets washed or whatever, or my own sheets washed. Cause I really want that to happen every week and it doesn't happen every single week. And I just need to lower my standards and be like, well, I'm going to sleep in dirty sheets for a couple days. Like, it's okay.
Well, I think there's so much pressure too when like you're watching TikToks and I last year I was on a refrigerator makeover TikTok where everybody was getting clear bins and they were making the refrigerator super
like the home edit people,
the home edit style. And it was just like constant, like, and I did all that. I got tons of tubs and I like made it all nice. And then it was just like, it was hard to upkeep because I didn't keep the same types of foods and it was getting overwhelming. Well, that now they have an even better aesthetic fridge where it's mainly single women and I'm loving it. You open up their fridge, they have flowers in a vase. And they have a picture of their freaking cat or dog. And then in the refrigerator. So when you open it up, it's like this little like amazing collection of food. And they have like they unbox all the food so it looks cool. And this one girl was describing it as like, she's like, it brings me joy to have this. And as I was looking, I'm like, you know what? That's what I want because I don't need as much crap in my kitchen. I don't need as many condiments as I have.
Yeah.
And so as I'm using them up, I'm not rebuying because, you got your staples, but you don't necessarily need like every like lime cilantro spray and 50 million dressings, especially for me because I'm single. I'd much rather have like a cleaner, streamlined fridge with a little treat when I open, like, look at that, flowers for me or whatever it is.
I love that.
So I think that's part of the spring clean too, is just like, what do you really want in your life?
Yeah.
What do you really want to see? What really brings you? I mean, I know we don't want to go to remember the joy lady? Like, does this bring you joy?
Yeah. But she's kind of brilliant. I do think she has a lot of good tips.
She does. But did you know that she has stopped her weight? Because she has like 3 kids now. I'm like,
hilarious. I'm like, yeah, it's a little unrealistic.
Yes.
Okay. My final tip is that it can be an ongoing thing and not just in the spring. And I'm saying that to myself because, like I said, I really didn't get done what I wanted to get done in the spring break time frame. And I know spring is longer than spring break or whatever, but just in my everyday life, I don't have as much like space and time to really dedicate to that. But when I do have time, I want to take advantage of it. And it can just be kind of an ongoing thing. And I want to do my closet next too. And we'll see when that actually happens. And it's okay if it doesn't happen in the spring. Yeah. If it happens in the summer or whenever it happens, or if I just like take my own advice I gave to you and just picked one category.
Yes.
But what I tend to do is because I don't have enough room in my closet to contain all my clothes for the year, I kind of have seasonal.
Okay.
So I have all my, currently I still have all my winter stuff hanging up and all my thick sweaters and dresses and that are like winter stuff. But once the weather gets warmer, like all of my shorts and tank tops and tank top dresses and all of that is like put out of sight right now. And so I'll rotate it. I have to do that.
That's good.
And so that might be a good time when I actually go do that to actually go through stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's smart. Do it when it's it would naturally occur kind of thing.
Yeah.
So one of the things I like to do this time of year, actually it's not even this time of year, but I like to do this every few months. I like to do a brain dump. And so I purge my brain of all the things I'm thinking about that I need to do. And so I make a giant list of all my to-dos from like cleaning out the closet to this, to that. And then I usually categorize them and start breaking them down a bit. But I find that very helpful because I always find stuff that I've been kind of like antagonizing over. And I realize like, oh, I don't even want to do that. Like, I don't even need to do that anymore.
So you can kind of cross it off and then it leaves your brain.
And then it leaves. And it kind of like is this nice purge to like clean out the attic.
Of your head.
Of my brain. Yes. Because I don't. Yeah.
I do feel like when I write stuff down, it is very helpful.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm always trying to hold it in there and trying to make sure I don't forget it. But when it's kind of like a packing list. Yeah. Like if I don't, like when I think of something, I need to write it down so that I don't have to continue to think about it.
Yeah. Well, I just don't have space for that in my brain anymore.
Yeah.
Like as I've gotten older, I don't have space for that. So I really need to give myself all the best tools.
Do you feel like you had space before or were you just living differently?
I think I just had probably less to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I didn't have to make a packing list for 5 freaking people.
Yeah. I just probably had less to do. But I still think it's the bandwidth thing. Like I also would rather not carry that with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I often find like old notebooks with my brain dumps in them and I'll look through them and a lot of them end up happening organically. Like I don't have to keep checking or have it so present. And then a lot of stuff falls off and it just gives me more time back.
Yeah.
So I was watching the TikToks the other day. You know, I'm a TikTok girl.
Yes.
And if you didn't know, guys, we do have our own TikTok now. It's the Geriatric Millennials pod. And because our first account got banned after one video because we are that controversial. Anyway, so
we don't even know why.
Like, we don't even know why. We tried to get it back and they were like, no, you're banned for life. And I was like,
which
okay.
makes no sense.
Especially us. We're so wholesome.
I know.
But I saw this TikTok from this girl and she, again, this is more of the emotional spring cleaning, but she was just having a really hard time and feeling like not great. And she's like, I'm spending the next 30 days doing something each day kind of out of my norm to get me out of this funk. And so she's like, this is the first day and I got Taco Bell, but not from my normal Taco Bell, from the Taco Bell, 10 minutes down the road instead of 15 or whatever it was. But it made me think about that a little bit of like, I need to do that to kind of jolt my system to get out of like the winter, I'm just going to stay home, kind of funk. I don't know. I think one of the biggest things is don't be stressed out. That's what I'm taking away from you about spring cleaning.
Oh, yeah. Back to that.
Giving yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Making sure you're not taking on more than you can handle so that you get stressed out. And
when in doubt, throw it out.
When in doubt, throw it out. Purge everything. Is it a memory? Doesn't matter. Jayme wants you to throw it in the garbage. Although I have to say, the best thing I've ever bought recently is I got this little scanner on Amazon that you can scan pictures and documents really fast. And it's not like a big flatbed. It just kind of is like a smaller scanner. I'll put a link. We are not affiliated, but it is worth it because I've scanned all my old pictures, all my old documents, and then I can throw and shred everything. So that's
what happens? So then what are you storing it in?
What do you mean?
You're scanning it into what? Into a digital thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? It goes into a little black box.
Jayme, that was the best thing ever. Yes. You scan the document to your computer. It just makes it like a PDF or like a JPEG.
Yeah. So then it's just invisible unless you go access it with some kind of electronic device.
Yes. So it's like, oh, I would love to see this because it makes me think of this memory, but I don't want to keep this piece of paper for the rest of my life. So I scan it.
You know what?
And I have a memory folder.
I needed that 15 years ago.
Yes.
When I moved to Hawaii.
Yeah. Because then you can keep everything.
13 years ago.
Yeah. Because you can keep everything without having it have really a big impact.
I threw away 90% of my pictures.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad.
Kind of.
A lot of pictures are not good though.
Have I missed them?
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I had a lot of duplicates,
Yeah.
And, I had, 50 pictures of my nephew and I'm like, do I need 50 pictures of him or do I need like the one or two that I think are the cutest? Just the one or two.
I feel that way though too about my camera roll on my phone because I'll look and I'm like, why do you have 8,000 pictures?
I so need to clean that up.
Yeah. Same.
I don't know how to.
I feel like I like the digital purge too. Digital purges are very.
I really need to. I have I have close to like 2,000 unread emails, which is dumb.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I'm just picturing the little red bubble and I hate it,
but I also have seen them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just going to take time. When am I going to do these things?
I don't know. I do them when I'm watching TV.
Well, I do them daily, but I just can't. Can't go back to the archives.
Oh, sometimes you just got to delete.
I know.
Or get a new email. That helps too. If you have some great tips for us on how you deal with purges in your life, whether it be your closet, your computer, your friends, whatever, let us know. Hit us up on our Instagram.
Yes.
We're at the Geriatric Millennials and we would love to hear from you because we need more ideas in our life on how to make things easier.
Yeah. And just how to purge.
Yeah. Bring on the bandwidth.
I love purging.
I love it. There's nothing better than taking the big garbage sacks out to the car.
Well, you just feel so much better after. I feel like I want all my surfaces to be clear.
Yes.
I don't want clutter.
I know. Every time you come to my house, I'm a clutter person. I do piles. I have little clutter corners and I'll go to Jayme's house and there is not one thing out of place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you guys live here?
Really?
Yeah.
I
am one person.
Have you ever been in our guest room? Because that's the dumping ground.
It's like
currently.
Monica's closet of shame on Friends.
I keep putting stuff in there and I'm like, okay, I need to go through with that too.
Mm-hmm.
We've only lived in this house for 2 years. You would think that you could maintain such a thing.
Yeah, no.
But apparently not.
No.
So yeah,
I'm always shocked at how much fits in my my home. Like one day, okay, this happened a couple weeks ago. I was like taking all the books out of my bookshelf because I bought a bunch of new books. It didn't count because they were gift card books. So let's just get it straight. But I was shocked at how much I pulled out. Like once it was all out on the floor of my bookcases, I was like, you are a hoarder. Like you have a problem. There's too much here. And then I put it all back in. And then I was like, look, problem solved. It was like, did I get rid of one thing? Absolutely not.
That's
but
so
a little
funny.
Tetris thing, and all of a sudden it's like, look how much space I have.
Yeah.
And it's like, ma'am, you're kidding yourself. Anyway, so here's to the purge.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.